Something happening like this to somebody like him, like it kind of like it really upset me like on a deeper type of level because like it's always like good, outstanding people.
Welcome back to Tell 'em Tebow. Got my boy Skylar here with me today. We're over here talking about a situation, man, that happened recently. I'm sure a lot of y'all know about the star from Empire, Justin. He recently got beat up pretty much for being, you know, different and what people call gay and whatnot. So we just gonna go ahead and address that situation. But before that, I'll let y'all hear a little bit about me and Skylar. We went to high school together. You graduated when?
2008. That's what that was, like 3 years behind you.
Damn, nigga, 2 years.
Oh,
That's old shit.
My bad.
I graduated in 06. So, yeah, we both went to the same high school from the same area, Lafayette, Louisiana. Did you even see me in high school?
No, you see, like, I came towards probably the end of your senior year, probably,
Okay.
because I was going to Catholic school. I went to Turling's my freshman and sophomore year, and probably like the beginning of my junior years when I went, I left and I went to Northside.
Okay, yeah, because when they were telling me, like, oh yeah, Skylar went to Northside too, I'm like, I don't remember seeing Skylar at Northside.
But I was always to myself. You really wouldn't know me unless we engaged. Yeah. It's like I'm a passerby.
Shit, so you kind of like me, because like even like at this point in my life, like people see me on social media and like, oh, you joke around, and I'm like, fuck you mean I joke around? I always joke around, but it's like in high school, if I didn't know you, then I had no reason to talk to you. As I got older, I noticed like I ain't gotta see you doing what I do for me to accept you for who you are. Like you ain't gotta be what I am for me to say, okay, you're cool. Like you can be however you want to be and still be a cool ass person.
Right. Just being genuine, being open and honest with yourself. But see, like self-love is like should be #1 priority. Self-love, like, and when I'm talking about your flaws and all, everything, your bad attitude on your good days, your worst days, like you gotta love yourself, like you have to. It's a priority.
Definitely. If not, like you can't even give love to the next person because you don't know who you are. You can't even say, you can't figure out who you are to love yourself. No, you damn sure not gonna love the next person. You might love them, but you're not gonna love them in the right way. Like fix yourself, get yourself together, and like you said, be 100 with yourself. Like I know me, like where I come from, like my mom, single mom, my entire life. Like I have maybe 2 members of my dad. That's it. Always work hard. You know, we lived in a house where at times we had rats, like roaches. That shit was consistent. Rats wasn't consistent, but the roaches, them niggas was around more than me. I think. And it's like go outside, play in the dirt, no shoes on, badass hair, better got haircuts, but it's like take all that shit and run with it. Like I don't say, oh no, I came from a good neighborhood, or oh, we had a nice house, we had a lot of money. No, nigga, this is where I come from. I love it. This is where I'm at now. I love this, but no matter what, you're not gonna take my past and embarrass me with it because I love it. Like
absolutely not.
I'm me,
you can't do that.
But no, man, this goes back to the topic itself where we feel like people just take certain things and make it to the worst thing ever. Like with being gay, it's like what's really wrong with being gay? And my thing, the way I look at people that think it's wrong is they think it's wrong because it's not the norm. And people say things are weird or whatever because it's not the norm. And they don't believe in it because this person said don't believe in it.
Most people criticize what they don't understand. People have a tendency like, and it's not, I'm not going to say it's them individually. Like I feel like it's almost a generational type of thing. And a lot of the times it's a religious type of thing. Being that I basically went to Catholic school my entire life, other than the last 2 years of my high school, like, so I understand the Bible and understand, like, I'm not going to get too much into this, but like I'm just letting you know that like I understand and I know what has been taught to me and I know what is said in the good book, but I also feel like the Lord knew my heart. Yeah. And he knew me before I knew me. He knew me before I even got here. Being down south, being here, like hearing the words like fag and punk, that's just shit that you hear people just talking shit with. You see what I'm saying? It's not really more so like I'm desensitized, but like that really doesn't bother me. They criticize what they don't understand. For somebody who's not really going through it, or somebody who doesn't really understand, like you can't really, exactly, you can't really say, well, this is this and this is that, because you don't know that. Like that's not what it is majority of the time. So
that's what we do. I mean, I say this shit all the time. I say I hate humans because we're supposed to be the smartest creatures, but in reality, man, we really not.
Absolutely
we have the tools to be the smartest, but we sit there and like with this, like we judge shit we don't have no clue about. It's like looking at food, like that shit is nasty. Like, have you even tried the shit? Do you even know anyone that has tried it? Like, your taste buds are different anyway, so you may not like what the next person like. So it can't be nasty because you don't like it, you just don't like it. Like, it's okay not to like something, but respect it. And with this shit, is like, with dude, you know, getting beat up, is like, it was strictly on the fact of him being into guys and he's, you know, the same sex. Whatever.
And that shit, like, blows my mind. Like, in the times that we in right now, like, when we in 2019, like, I honestly didn't even, like, I feel like isolated incidents are going to happen because people are ignorant, period. But I honestly didn't think, I honestly didn't even feel that, like, something, like, on, like, getting this type of exposure, like, people, like, really speaking out about it, like, I understand, like, and I'm glad people are, because it's just unacceptable. Like, that shit is unreal to me. Just for, like, yeah, that's probably all they know about this man. Probably all they know about him.
Have you ever had a situation where somebody trying to steer you away from being who you really are and want to be?
I've never really had to. I don't think I've ever been placed in a situation where I felt like somebody was trying to straighten me up, or anything of that nature. This
is from Jordan. It's over in the Middle Eastern, and it says, as a Muslim nation, homosexuality is frowned upon at best and criminalized at worst. If you are caught engaging in sexual activity with a member of the same gender, even if you are legally married in your home country, it will be considered adultery. Public displays of affection between members of the same-sex gender are also frowned upon. It's sometimes hard to believe, but Jordan is one of the most progressive Middle Eastern countries in this area. Homosexual couples traveling in Jordan will be okay as long as they simply act like good friends in public. And that right there is saying, this is like straight from them. It's saying, hey, you can like the same sex, but don't bring that shit around here. So it's like automatically shutting it down because to them it's the wrong thing to do. So have you like ever like gone somewhere or heard about somewhere that will relate to something like this where you can't be yourself?
It's hard to speak on affairs outside the country, but I would think in America, but at the time that we're in right now and with the president that we have, you know what I'm saying, like, I feel like that's just a goal for that party or for those supporters to be able to do the things that they've been doing. And like
100. Everything
in this country to me seems like a distraction. Because once we start to crack down on something or we get answers on something else,
damn,
it's like, it's unworldly to me. I don't get it. And me as a person, like, if I can't be who I want to be in the country I'm going to, I'm probably not going to go to that country. And I won't feel bad about not going either. These people will kill you. Like, they'll kill you. And they'll have no, like, it's no, like, I saw, like, something in, I don't know, it was a blog of some sort, news related. And it said warning graphic, or, you know, and it was a Middle Eastern country, and they had someone blindfolded and on top of a building, and they pushed them, all of them, off of the building. And these were all accused homosexuals. And, you know what I'm saying, like, these are, like this is what's happening over there, you know what I'm saying? So, it's
That shit.
I still can't understand, like, because we as a people, like, we can't step into like other governments, like laws and whatnot. There's a standard that should be held when it comes to a life or like
Respecting
human, like exactly.
Like what you want to do, I respect that shit. I mean, even with, like you say, respecting others, you know, as humans. I think some people think that we can be programmed to be a certain way. It's like, dude, like you are who you are. Like you can't say, hey, you're my son, you're not gonna let God. Like, dude, like you don't make that decision. That decision is made when this person is pretty much born, dude. Like it's a wrap. Like all you can do is give this person life. After that, he or she, you know, they could do their own thing. They gonna like who they like, date who they want to date, sleep with who they want to sleep with. Like even like one of my people, which I told you yesterday, like she's dating this female, and well, actually, my bad, not dating. They're actually married now. But when they started, her partner, you know, dad was like, yeah, can't y'all just be friends? Because I don't think y'all should date. And like she told her partner's dad, like, hey, no disrespect, but pretty much like, I'm gonna date your daughter. Like, there's nothing that you can do to stop me from dating your daughter. Like, we're both grown, and I'm gonna date her. And it's like, that was years ago. They married and happy now. Everybody
should be held to the same standard. Like, just let people live, bro. Like, let people enjoy life because we only have one.
Yeah.
We only have one.
You never know that.
So it's just unreal to me. Like, just the thought of you trying to persuade somebody to take the one life they have and pretty much
live your way.
That just can't happen. Like, we have a problem as a people of allowing other people to be happy. Like, why is we feel the need to interfere with other people just living their best life, not bothering nobody, doing their own thing?
Like, I spoke to a couple people about this. Like, I'm just like riding around type shit and noticing when it comes to people that date the same sex, and when it comes to like homeless people, I've never seen, like people say gay, I've never seen a gay person homeless.
A lot of the times, the gay people, like gays who are homeless, are youths, like displaced, like they can't go back to their house, or like they're in a system, or you know what I'm saying. Like, these are like real life issues. Like, people are putting their kids out on the street, and they have nowhere else to go. They don't have no family because they chose, not really chose, they decided to live the life that they were born to live.
It makes them happy, not people that say don't do it.
And the sad part about it is, like, the same people who casting you out to the world is the same people who brought you into it.
You being with girls back then, like you said, you felt like something was missing then, and then with a guy, of course, it's like this is home. Like
I think the very first interaction I had with a person of the same sex, it was like a new beginning type of shit. It was just like, oh, all right. So exactly, like it was a comfort level that I didn't really expect, because like I never really felt uncomfortable with it was more so of an anxiousness and I kind of sort of like, we not in the same space, this is sex type shit, but it was definitely like an eye opener. And like, to be completely honest, like after that first encounter, like it kind of shook me. Like I hadn't, like it was probably another, I'm not even gonna lie, probably another year before I even had sex again. Because like I needed that time to be, I needed that time to like adjust to all those switches that was switched on when the dots started to connect, so to speak.
First time I met you when you came out to Dallas, and like you were chilling with Tree and them, and I went up to like, I think we were playing dominoes, I think it was, or spades. And
I think it was spades. I'm thinking it was one of the two.
We were partners, yeah. And I mean, I kind of knew who you were before you came, of course. I mean, because you were coming to the area, so we having a party. We gonna know who's who. And I was like, man, like, come on, man, come chill with us, whatever. And me going to do that, most dudes wouldn't do. And it's like, because of the way people think nowadays, which is, you're not built like me. Like, I'll take anybody the way they are, whether it's black, white, like guys, like girls, like, you are who you are. Like, I'm not about to sit there and put myself above you because you don't do the things I do.
And I can almost be 95% sure, like, first impressions of me, people wouldn't assume that I'm a gay man. Like, people wouldn't assume that I'm a gay man. Like, you actually have to be around me because, like, I'm comfortable with myself.
You cool, nigga. You be chilling.
And so, like nobody wouldn't know, like, unless they ask me my business. And, like, here's the thing with me. Like, I don't get offended by the fact, like, if somebody's gonna ask me, like, I'm gonna give you my honest answer. Like, don't ask me a question if you don't want the answer. Period. And that's in any form of anything. That's just how I am.
How many people have actually asked you that? Like, because I know, I've never asked nobody, like, hey, are you
No, like, to me, honestly, like, I really don't have to ask nobody. I don't think that's something that I have to do. I just feel like that's just something I know. Like, it sounds weird, but, like, but like I said, I'm big on vibes and I'm big on energy. Like, I'm just...
So is it kind of similar to, like, a woman's intuition?
I could almost... It's almost something like that, but, like, you could be off sometimes. I have certain mannerisms, but people wouldn't... They wouldn't assume that I'm a gay man. Like, I had a boyfriend for a long... Like, the last, like, serious relationship I had. Like, everywhere we would go together, people was asking us if we was brothers. Yeah. Like, people was like, who's your homeboy, blah, 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 blah. And it wasn't even really like we was putting on. It's just, that's just how we were interacting with each other. You see what I'm saying? Like, people make up their minds before they actually see or understand the backstory. Because seeing us together, nobody would assume that we was together like that. And the thing about it was, we wasn't trying to make it seem like we wasn't.
Just y'all being y'all. Like,
exactly.
So for people that are, let's say, flamboyant, you have people that are flamboyant, and you know it's right away. I think that's what people then start to contradict themselves, because they're like, "Oh, I hate gay people like that." Right. Like, no, like you just hate gay people.
Exactly, because the thing about it is, like, it's just. It's a personality thing. I've just never been super effeminate. That's just not something that I had to go through. Like, I never had that. You see what I'm saying? So, like, I can't knock somebody because that's just who they are. I'm being who I am. These days right now, like, you can have a lineup of 20 females, 20 men. And if they was to ask you, like, people would be fucking shocked, because people are actually out here. They're just living their lives. These most of these people are regular people, and more effeminate homosexuals. Like, these people are just, that's how that's their persona. That's their energy. Like, so I'm not gonna knock them. Absolutely not, because I would be, what? That's dumb. Like, that it's crazy to me. So, like, people can honestly say that, well, I don't like extra feminine gay people, but then
you just don't like gay people. Like, it's like a straight dude that's being macho. It's like that's being flamboyant. It's the same shit. The difference is y'all living two different lives,
right?
And you don't agree with the other one. Whereas the man that's being, the macho man. Person that's being flamboyant, that like guys or whatever, is like, he's okay with you doing you. You're not okay with him doing him, but at the same time, y'all both different.
Right. And at the same time, he shouldn't be worried about what you doing, and you shouldn't be worried about what he doing. That goes back to what I said, like, everybody got their own life to live. Everybody going through their own things. Everybody doing, like, everybody is walking, is really moving to the beat of their own path. So, like, we can't, as individuals, insert ourselves in other people's lives, livelihoods, how they doing their business, how they living their life, how they raising their kids, what they do for a living. All that just needs to be deaded, especially in the African American community. Like for sure, we really need to step it up. Like for our kids, for the future, for the youth. Like we have to start making big changes. We have to start changing perceptions. We have to start getting people to be more open-minded. Teach your kids to be kind to people.
Literally.
Teach your kids to be good people.
For me, my biggest thing on all this is for people to understand that, like, it's okay to be different. Where everybody can just come in and respect everyone else's wishes, the way they live, the colors they wear. Even gangbang, like, you wear red, like, I'm gonna kill you. It's like, you mad because this nigga wearing red? Like, why? But that's my biggest thing on that, man. And of course, you know, prayers for Jussie, and hopefully he continues to get better, and anybody else that
because like
went through that.
He honestly is like a shining light. Like honestly, like he's somebody who on the platform and he's doing something absolutely 110% positive with every move he's made. Like it's been something positive behind everything. For something to happen like this to somebody like him, like it kind of like it really upset me, like on a deeper type of level, because like it's always like good, outstanding people, and like it's just it's crazy. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, and people will never get it, man. So like if you have to say something to like anybody that had, you know, thoughts about people that live differently, like what you want them to know about it?
I feel like you can't ostracize a group of people for simply you not having to go through, or simply you not understanding, or you not having to live that life. I feel as if like we shouldn't put too much thought into something that really doesn't affect the way we live. Like if it's not affecting you, leave it alone. You know what I'm saying? But to straighten it up, it's not a choice. It's like there's no group of people I can honestly say, even with the right amount of money, who would voluntarily give themselves literally a stamp that gives other people the right to berate them, or to talk down to them, or to, you know, make them the butt of a joke, only because this is who they are. Like it's just, stop bringing people down. Like that's just, it's just too much for me. Like you can't be upset with somebody for being their genuine 100% self. Like it's just too much.
Appreciate it, man. That shit. It's not too often you'll get somebody to just be straight up and straightforward and say exactly how they feel, especially when they're doing shit that most people like would be afraid to do. Like, I'm not speaking on this because I don't want people to look at me a certain way. It's like,
I honestly feel like it was really important for me. Like, and I was probably like all over the place because like I have a lot to say.
Exactly.
But nobody wants that stain. It's almost like, and it really hurts when it comes from your black people. Because oppression is something that's in our blood, or like period. And for you to have, you know, like somebody who's you consider to be your brother, or you know, like your sister, and they're speaking to you in a way that makes you feel like you really out on your own because you doing this, meanwhile they doing that, and they doing this too. But they're not speaking on that. They like to pick and choose what it is they want to pick up and what things they want to push to the side. It's fundamental that you allow people to be themselves. Like, people have a life to live just like you have your life to live. That is the best thing you could ever do for yourself, is to be 100% happy and take pride in who you are. Like, not only love yourself, but to be prideful in everything about yourself. Be proud of who you are. Be proud of where you've been, what you're doing. Like, you have to put, you have to assert yourself in your own life if you want to be
100%.
Exactly.
Be who you are, who you was born
Right.
to be, and not what others want you to be, man. Boy, Skylar, man, we out here in Lafayette, Louisiana all day. But hit the like button, subscribe, make sure you hit the bell, get the notifications, and we out.
Deuce.
I'd rather stand tall.